Let's move over to the next fight here as we got a women's bantamweight scrap as we got Carol Rosa coming in at minus 120. She goes up against Luana Santos, who comes in at plus 100. Now, Rosa is a fighter that I was, I'm still kind of a fan of, right? She started her UFC run off 4-0, but then she ended up losing to Sarah McMahon in March of 2022. And ever since then, she's been alternating wins and losses. She's 4-4 since that fight, recently coming off of a decision victory over Nora Cornell. She started off a little slow in that fight, but in the second two rounds, the second and third round, she was able to accrue 9.5 minutes of control time through those last 10 minutes to grind out that fight and win it. One of those rounds, I think it was the third round, if I'm not mistaken, she got 4 minutes and 53 seconds of control time, which is crazy. It took her 7 seconds to engage in the clinch and the grappling there with Cornell, and then from there, Cornell had no answer off of her back. Now, Rosa is a very well-rounded fighter. She can strike when she needs to, she can grapple when she needs to, but there just have been a few fights where she seems a little bit too lackadaisical in her approach, and she allows her opponents to dictate the pace and kind of just fight the fight on their terms. When she comes locked in and ready to go, she's a very tough opponent to beat, right? No matter what kind of approach you take against her, she could have an answer for something like that, right? Whether it's the striking game, she has some good volume in her hands, she throws with good combinations, and then with the grappling, again, she can be very strong in those positions if she actually tries, right? I think it was the Norma Dumont fight where I was like, what is she doing? Like, she's not doing anything. And it was very surprising. The Eileen Perez fight, she had no answer for Perez's grappling there, and that was a very unfortunate situation because skill-wise, I thought Rosa was the better fighter than Perez, but Perez showcased that she could bully her when she needed to, and that obviously helped her to get the win. So Rosa needs to lock in, right? She can't be going win-loss, win-loss, win-loss. She's 31 years old. If she has any dreams of wrapping UFC gold around her waist, she really needs to dial in and get things going, start stringing some wins together, get back into the rankings, and showcase that she's actually one of the more skilled women in the division. But again, she just doesn't seem like she's been locking in as of late. Now, she's going up against Luana Santos, who seems to be starting to settle into the bantamweight division after a few botches at 125 pounds. Obviously, the loss to Casey O'Neill was a little bit of a hiccup for her as well. But now she's on a 2-fight winning streak. She got that beautiful submission over Tainara Lisboa. And then last time around, she out-grappled and out-grinded Canadian Melissa Croden. That was the fight where I actually bet and picked Croden over Santos, as I thought Croden's physicality and her Muay Thai would have been enough to stop the grappling of Santos and then beat her up on the feet. But Santos was very clever with how she was able to implement her judo and her grappling game, and she got off on some pretty good control time, some pretty good damage as well, and she was able to grind out, I believe it was 2 of those rounds on all 3 scorecards to get the win. I think Croden only found success in round 2, where 2 judges scored that round for her, but she couldn't get back to that success in that third round. But yeah, I like Santos in terms of her developments. She's mainly a judo specialist. She has some decent hands, but unless she's fighting a fighter that's willing to bite down and throw a lot of volume with power, that's where we'll see her struggle, just as she did against Casey O'Neill. But more often than not, she's going to be able to get a hold of her opponents. She's going to look to slam them on their head or throw them on their head, and then from there look for opportunities to just grind them out. When she sees the opportunity for a submission, she'll go for it, but she seems to be more so cognizant in terms of maintaining dominant control, dominant positions, not letting a fighter have the opening to create a reversal or a scramble or a submission opportunity of their own. It could be a boring style to a lot of people, and that might kind of stunt her growth in terms of getting to a title shot, but she's still only 26 years old, right? If she finds success with grinding opponents out, the UFC will continue to give her harder and harder fights, and she continues to pass them, if they're not too flustered by her boring grappling approach, then they're going to keep her around and they'll let her do what she does and go out there and I'll grapple a lot of these fighters. So this weekend she goes up against Carol Rosa, and this is a fun battle between 2 Brazilians. Again, skill-wise, Rosa might be a better all-around fighter, but Santos does a decent enough job in terms of dictating the pace of a lot of her fights, and we've seen Rosa allow fighters do that to her, and I feel like this is one of those spots where Santos will do just that. I think she'll be able to get a hold of Rosa. I think she'll be able to get to her judo, and from there I think she'll be able to get plenty of control time, as Rosa often kind of settles on her back, and that's not a great look against a fighter like Santos. Santos might struggle in deeper water here if she's expending a lot of energy trying to hold Rosa down, but I believe in her ability to at least snatch up 2 of these rounds to actually get the win here, and it seems like the public is slowly agreeing with that side as well, considering the line movement on this fight. I saw Santos roughly around plus 130, plus 140 a couple days ago. Now she's sitting at plus 100, so a lot of love coming in on Santos, and that's usually the case right after a UFC event concludes, right? You often see people focusing on the fight coming up. And then, the Sunday or Monday after a UFC card, everybody starts focusing on the next fight, and then they start putting the money down, and that's where you see lines start to shift and move. So I agree with the Santos love coming in. I'm going to go Santos here. If you're able to get plus money on her, good on you. It looks like she might even shift to being the favorite come fight time at this rate, but I'm going to go Santos here, and I'm going to go Santos by decision.